today's Sunday. It's raining, and I'm tired. It's been a long week, so I decided to find something easy to do here at the house. So what I'm going to do, I got all my little gold dust, and I'm going to probably, what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and refine it down using Aqua Regia process, chemically treating the gold down to pure gold. The first step I'm taking is a nitric acid bath, just straight nitric acid. Hopefully this will start dissolving anything but the gold. Everything's supposed to dissolve but the gold, I guess, according to what I've read and watched on YouTube. I'm following a guy on YouTube, Street Tips Formula, as best I can. So it's a nitric acid bath first. I've got it outside in a crock pot. Pyrex glass. His beaker's got the gold and nitric in it, and I have a safety pan, a Pyrex safety pan underneath that. Once this nitric bath solution stops off gassing, then I will rinse the gold with distilled water. And but I'm going to go ahead and put on my rubber gloves and my respirator, and I'm going to go out there and show you guys what it looks like when it's doing this reaction. Hold on.
Okay, it's not near as brown gas as what was coming off of it earlier today. Earlier it was very brown gas. There's an ounce of 23 grams inside that nitric acid right there. The reaction seems to be almost done and over with. It looks like it's just dissolving the nitric acid now.
Okay, I got my distilled water and a beaker or squeeze bottle full of distilled water, and a filter, and a funnel, into my Pyrex. Okay, we're going to filter the fluids off of this. And then rinse it with the distilled water. Okay, I rinsed the gold once with distilled water. Flushed it a few times. I'm going to take the sludge here and put it in another bowl of distilled water again to rinse it some more. Okay, now after doing the nitric acid bath and then filtering it 4 different times in 2 different filters, I'm going to slowly but surely heat the water off of this filter and pretty much incinerate the filter. Okay, all this gold right here has been washed through a nitric acid bath. Started out with 1 ounce and 23 grains. 1 ounce and 23 grains. Now, earlier this year, like way in the spring, I kind of started a batch, and I believe it was, I wish I could remember, I believe it was just like 5 grams or 10 grams. But I went ahead and just let it evaporate because I wasn't confident enough to finish doing it. So rather than throw it away, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to add, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 parts of nitric or muriatic acid. Actually, I'll probably go this many. I'm going to go that much nitric acid, just enough to thoroughly cover it, or muriatic acid. And then I'll let it get hot with the muriatic acid, and then I'll slowly but surely add nitric acid until I'll slowly add it, and as the reaction dissipates, I'll add a little bit more until I no longer get a reaction. Well, we're about an hour into the AR solution. Should be being warmer now. Add just a tiny bit more nitric acid to it. It's still reacting. You see, hopefully you can see the reaction. See if I can get my hand still. Gold at the bottom, still lots of gold at the bottom. One thing I'm not sure about is the fumes that come off of it. I don't know if I should have a little lid on there. Looks like it's accumulating in the bottom of that pan. Okay, here I am 3 hours into the reaction. Is it still bubbling? Still gold at the bottom of that container. And it quit bubbling, so I better add some more nitric acid to it. Well, now we're at 8 o'clock at night, and it's still reactive. Move around, it still bubbles. Actually, it's not bubbling very much, but still looks to be plenty of gold in the bottom of that. So, looks like more nitric and more waiting. This ain't gonna get done today. Hi guys, Ray here again. Going back to my Royal Water 1 ounce 23 grams problem. So I did the nitric wash bath. Well, I don't want to go through everything I did. Anyhow, late last night, I could still easily see gold in the bottom of it. I had started adding nitric acid to it slowly, and then the reaction stopped, and I added some more nitric acid in, but it didn't do anything. So I got another friend that works a little bit with oxalic acid or Royal Water, however you want to call it. I don't know, Aqua Regia. And he said, try adding more muriatic acid to it. So I added more muriatic acid to it last night, and reaction restarted. So obviously I didn't have enough muriatic acid in it to begin with. I thought I did. I thought I had more than enough muriatic acid. Apparently not. I don't know, maybe it's gotten weak. Anyhow, I waited for another hour, but the reaction was going slow. And I just wasn't going to be able to stay awake all night long. And so instead of turning it on to low, I turned it completely off. So it got chilly, and reaction was pretty much dead this morning. Wasn't nothing going on. So I turned the heat back up on this morning, and I added a tiny bit more muriatic acid and just a couple of drops of nitric acid. And the reaction had stopped again at lunchtime. So I added just a tiny bit more muriatic acid and a tiny bit more real tiny bit more nitric. You know, we're going to take a look at it again. I haven't even looked at it yet. We should be getting dang close. Let's see if I can. Well, I'm getting really close to the top of this, so I think I'm going to wash it into a bigger beaker and go with that. There's a pretty color. Anyhow, I'm going to put it in a bigger beaker, wash it out, and get my respirator on. Okay, I transferred it to a bigger beaker just in case I have to add more, because I didn't have enough room to add more to it. Let it settle. So the $100 question is that gold, or is that just the leftovers from the gold? appear to be reacting at all. There's more stuff in there now than what there was. Look at the color of that. It sure looks like gold. But it could be like the white sulfide stuff that's just looking like gold because of the royal water. Looks to be a lot more stuff on the bottom of this than what I started, I guarantee you that. Is that just the leftover schmeg that is not gold? The contaminants in Juno Gold? Okay, the reaction appears to be done, so now I've got some sulfuric acid crystals. Here's the solution. Doesn't appear to be doing anything, hasn't done anything in a while. We're going to just drop just a small pinch into there. And that should drop any lead chlorides that I have. I'll let that set for a few minutes and then I'm going to pour the stuff off. Well, I haven't had no reaction off of this in a while, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead, but I have still a lot of material at the bottom and I'm not sure of 100%. I'm going to carefully pour off just the top portion of this, and then I'll run the rest of it in a filter. Ain't nobody say I ain't got big balls, man. I tell you what, I'll try anything once, and then I'll try it again just to see if I did it right the first time, which I know I didn't do it right the first time. Look at that. That's some pretty looking liquid. Now I'll filter. It'll make it easier to filter that second batch, and I'll go from there. Okay, this by volume is almost 2 ounces of sodium metabisulfate. I did not crush up the very bottom. Let's see. Okay. There's a little bit, and we have chunks in the bottom, but most of it is dissolved in the distilled water. Again, sodium metabisulfate in distilled water, and it's pretty much 2 ounces of sodium metabisulfate. And I had 1.5 ounces, or 1 3/4 ounces. 1 ounce, 23 grams. So this should be enough. Here's my AR solution. Got it sitting in a gold pan. Let's see this stuff turn brown. Slowly. You have to hold on a minute. I'll change positions here. Must still be nitric acid in that to be reacting that hard. I hope that's the only problem. Wait a minute, it's starting to bounce. It's starting to drop. It's actually changing colors. Hope this sucker's gonna work. starting to change color now. It's going black. I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. Still that much left. Could probably add some more here in a minute. Okay, here's another 50 to 100, about 100 milliliters of water again, distilled water. With another ounce of sodium metabisulfate. Separate. Oh, no. A little bit went in the gold pan. Let's stop there. Got no choice. I got to stop there. See what happens. It's not separating yet. Damn it. It didn't turn 100% brown. Go clear. Shit. It started to, and then it changed its mind. Dang it. Well, here it is the next morning again, and it still hasn't dropped. Some of it dropped, but not all of it. Not sure what the hell's going on. Give it some more time, though. Well, I'm going to try to put just a couple more grains of SMB in it. See, it's starting to turn black. And then it comes back to that golden color. Learned my lesson a long time ago about adding too much of this stuff too fast. It'll boil. Oh well, we're gonna let it sit until lunchtime and see what it looks like. Maybe add just a couple more drops of it. Okay, as of this morning, it's still this orange color. But everything I've tried did not seem to take and drop any more material. This is the sponge that I got out of it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and melt this sponge down. And then this liquid I think has just got too much nitric acid in. I'm going to slowly but surely just evaporate it down with heat. I think that's the plan. See what happens. Well, my entire sponge that I did get out of it is in that one big container. Yeah, I'm probably a dumbass, but I hope like hell I didn't lose too much gold. Probably did. And again, I've still got solutions over there. If it's still in the solution, I'll get it back. Okay, let's take a look at it. Nope, it's not ready down in there. It'll get hotter. One of the things I find, I don't know how important this really is. Here I've got two map gas. They're both turned on all the way on blast. Last couple times I've tried to use this, it just doesn't get hot enough. Now the interior of this thing has eroded because I've used it so many times. So maybe because most of the interior is so eroded that maybe now that's why it doesn't heat up enough to get the gold really super soft. I'm not sure. Probably going to end up dumping this into the mold, and then I'm going to have to take and get out my acetylene torch and go from there. Now, why that son of a gun has to form like that, I don't know. I'll get hot with it. Propane torch. Acetylene torch. Why ain't this strange? Yeah, that's the bottom of the crucible. And I just watered the whole paper up with the sponge and just shoved it in the crucible and melted it down. Just straight with no flux, no nothing. And look at the way that paper kind of formed it. That's really odd. Well, kind of cool. I'm going to fire it up with acetylene and make it a button though. 'Cause that looks weird. After many tries, I got it.
What happens now?
Had to get everything super rosy red hot. And look at there.
You go home.
Now I got a damn 1 ounce and a quarter ingot.
I have so many questions. You ready to come back?
This was just a
That's
first
gonna be pretty.
step. In time, you'll take another.
Wow.
But other people need to see what
yeah.
I've seen. They need to see.
This is the way it's been done.
I love it.